Okay, I don't know which one Barbara wants to be, but I'll be Statler. How's that sound, Waldorf?
Okay, Statler. Here we go. So I'll start off as Vinny and I discussed yesterday.
Whoops, let me start here. All right, ready.
Okay, is this number one, Craig?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Did everyone see that all right?
Yeah, hey, Craig, does this one have a title? We didn't specify titles, but I'm curious.
Underwater gem.
Underwater gem, okay.
Yep. Okay. So we have a very, very nice but very complex image with lots of colors and lots of, I guess, somewhat shadows near the turtle. I assume that's a turtle or maybe a terrapin, or maybe it's I'm not sure if it's a flying object of some sort underwater. Beautiful coloration of the object within the picture. I would like to see a little bit more saturation or maybe separation from the background of the object. I find the background bright areas a little bit disturbing, and my eye wants to go to the upper right-hand corner where there's an extremely bright leafy area that kind of distracts me from looking at the object itself. So I would ask the maker to tone the background down as much as possible, with maybe the objective of preserving some of the color, but certainly toning it down to make the subject, i.e. the turtle, pop.
Yeah, I concur. I find the whole composition rather busy. I know it's very difficult to shoot. Looks like somebody shot this critter as he was swimming by. Those are incredibly difficult shots, and for what it's worth, I think whoever did this did a wonderful job with that. But I agree with Bob about that background. And what I would do if this were my image would be to try to outline the turtle and just either darken and or blur that background a little bit so that it loses some of its busyness. Frankly, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I don't see this as a ribbon-winning image.
Okay, moving on, I guess, huh? Oops.
Okay. I mean, it's a great shot. I would love to have had taken this one myself, but I don't think I would enter that in unless you could address the busyness of the background.
This next one's called Loon Family.
Ooh, nice impact. Really nice impact. You got the lot of action between probably the papa and the two baby ducklings. The eyes are incredibly sharp. And the only way that I would make this any better, could be made any better, is somehow or other darken that background, especially the top edge of it a little bit. But it looks like it's been blurred, but I think a darkening of that would help a little bit. Bob?
Are you talking to Waldorf?
Waldorf?
Well, you keep calling somebody Bob, and I'm not sure who that is.
Was some cranky old guy I used to know.
Okay. This is a very lovely image. The subjects are in focus very nicely. Loons are beautiful birds. And I like the action. I like the baby loons looking at the adult holding that morsel, something to eat, something beautiful to look at and to ingest very nicely. I like this shot a lot. I would agree with the other old guy that the background needs to be
Statler.
darkened. I'm sorry?
Statler.
Statler. I couldn't remember your name. Thank you, Statler. uh, Certainly the upper portion of the photo could be darkened without significantly changing the focus of the, actually there's three subjects there, the two adults and the two babies being another subject. And I really like that. I like the action. A little bit more room on the two edges would be nice, I think, which would enhance the subject matter greatly if you could expand the two side edges somewhat. But overall, it's a very lovely picture, very nice picture.
I agree. I just had a thought. Whoever the maker is on this, you might want to try cropping it as a panorama. In other words, instead of an 8x10 or an 11x14, whatever this is, just half that width and make it a panorama, so you would automatically get rid of some of that top area. It's worth the try, see what it looks like.
Reykjavik street scene.
I like this picture.
Did you say Reykjavik?
Yes.
And the signs are in English. Interesting. I'm sorry, Waldorf.
Well, they speak English in Iceland, as well as their Icelandic dialect of some Norwegian, I think, background. Anyway, I like this scene because it has nice leading lines. I like the curve of the street, the main street in this picture. I like the colorations of the buildings. I like the fact that it's very sharp in focus. I think that I would tend to darken the sky somewhat. It's a little bright, and my eyes keep going up into the clouds, albeit the clouds are very lovely. But I think darkening that out and maybe bringing out some of the blue in the sky would enhance the photo quite a bit. Other than that, I like it just the way it is.
Yeah, I tend to agree with everything you just said. I mean, the focus is tack sharp right to the building in the back, and yeah, would probably enhance this to saturate the blues and just darken it a little bit. I wouldn't go too much on that, but this is a nice image. Very nice.
Actually, I have another thought. I was thinking about this. I was just holding up my hand to the left side of the picture. And I think if those automobiles were cropped out, it would give the focus of the central part of the photo much more clarity and much more, I think, in enhancement.
Well, I'm not sure about that. It may, but it's, you know, a suggestion like that is tough because everything that's in here is really goes to make this image. I don't know what it would look like if we crop that whole, it might work.
Well, what this photo is telling me, this is a nice scene in a pedestrian-oriented community, and the cars parked there don't add anything to the picture, and I find them a bit of a distraction.
Right. Right. Well, so you heard it. If you're the maker, give it a shot.
Iceland Cave Explorer.
Oh, I really like that one. The human in this photograph certainly adds perspective, and I love the way the clouds are blurring over the. They don't really blur, but I mean they kind of obscure the very tip top of that crag. Just a lovely image. I wouldn't. There's nothing I would do to make this. I mean, you got detail in the snow. You got, well, not too much detail in the sky, but then you could see the fog down there, which is probably one of the reasons it's not. Maybe try to put a little more detail in the left-hand side of that, but other than that, I would leave it alone.
I think that if this were my image, and it's a very lovely image, I love the tonality of the image. It almost looks like a monotone, but the clouds in that lower left indicate to me that it's not really a monotone. But I find that that light spot in those clouds a little bit distracting. And if it were my image, I would try cropping out those clouds. And I think that would also enhance the center of the image even more. So that would be my suggestion, but I think it's a very, very nice image.
Yeah, very nice. If it was mine, I would leave it alone. I do like the idea of making that red out of the total left, or maybe even enhancing it more. I don't know. I don't know what I would do with that, but that could be problematic. That's a nice image. Very good.
Kitty up.
I'm not sure what the message in this image is. It appears that there's a child riding on a merry-go-round, and that's probably a horse. I find the lack of definition due to a lack of sharpness in the photo disturbs me quite a bit. The eye of the horse is certainly in focus, and it is the highlight of the photo, but I'm trying to understand what the author had in mind to show this photo. What is the message that this photo is projecting? And that's what I'm struggling with.
I kind of agree. I mean, the child is out of focus, and while I have the portion of the horse's lips, so I am a little disturbed by that. And if this was your grandchild, I would save this because it's a beauty, but I don't think I would enter it. And I don't know how I would make it better. No offense.
Lunch break.
Craig, what was the title of this?
It's called Lunch Break.
Lunch break. Okay.
Oh, I get it. Leaving the boots behind and the hats and. I think this photograph suffers from a lack of focus, and I don't mean it's blurry. I mean it's like, what's the subject? The two boots. That picture of the representation of the sunflower in the upper left. I think that sunflower is distracting from this this message. I don't know if I would just crop it out or just take it out. But that would certainly keep my eye down around the boots, which I'm sure that the author wanted. Anyway, that's where I would go with this.
This is a very, very busy focus. I don't know if the author was trying to show that short person under the hat. If so, I think part of that person's face would be in order. It's a busy focus, and I'm not sure I understand the title relative to what I'm seeing.
Who knew that Waldorf had a sense of humor? I agree with you on the, but I think that notwithstanding, the thing that takes my focus away and out of the picture is that sunflower representation in the upper left. So if you want to keep this, it's an interesting, might be a good documentary, but I would get rid of the sunflower.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, you can overdo a photo with having too many subjects, and I'm trying to understand: is the bucket and that structure in the bucket the subject? The black and red boots next to the bucket, the short guy in the hat, or the building. I'm trying to understand what it is we're trying to project here.
With the title Lunch Break, I'm assuming that it's the boots, meaning that whoever was filling those boots and that hat just left them there and went to lunch. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, Best Buddies.
Two little boys flashing gang signs. I love it.
This is a nice portrait.
It really is.
I think I go first on this one, Vincent. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
A lot of color, a lot of feeling. Two young men who are showing us a V for Victory sign. Maybe they just came back from a soccer game in their town arena. They seem to be pleased. I like the light. I like the shine on their faces. A little bit of toning down on the youngster on the right. His nose is a little hot, and the top of his forehead is a little hot. So a little bit of toning down there, I think, would help the photo. And I would certainly think about cropping the left couple of inches of that dark concrete and just maybe line up the edge of the photo with the edge of the yellow and the red wall. So those that would be my comments to help improve the photo. But I like the expression on the young fellows' faces and their happiness about winning something.
Well, to me, it looks like they're up to something, perhaps a little naughtiness to come. But I totally agree on the cropping off that the ugly part of the concrete. And that would bring it in a little bit. It would bring the subjects out of center a bit. And I might consider cropping out the vertical section of the window that's on the far right, just a tad. You don't need to see that, but definitely the left side. It's a very nice photograph, by the way. Whoever it is did, very nice.
This is called View from the Third Floor.
Most interesting, is it my turn or your turn? I'm sorry.
What's yours?
Most interesting, I would like to have seen, my first thought was, oh my God, they opened the door, there's nothing there. Then as I look closely, I see that little ledge, so it's obviously a window. And I'm thinking perhaps if there's anything more to this photograph, if you could just show a little bit more of the bottom to give the idea that there's a wall there and not just a step out. That would help. But I really, really love the concept. I love the idea with the door opening and you see that, I guess that's a church in the background. Beautiful sky. But yeah, that would be my only critique on this one. I would a little bit more so I could see that it's actually a wall. And that may, make your subject a tiny bit smaller, but you don't necessarily have to make it too small. So back to you, Waldorf.
I like this photo. It's got great depth of field. The door on the left is in focus. The slot in the wall under the window is sharp. The buildings in the background are sharp in focus. Two things disturb me a little bit. One is that gray line on the lower right-hand part of the photo. I'm not sure what that is. It's kind of disturbing. I would either darken it or crop it out. And the area on the left behind the door, I'm wondering what that is. It's hard to understand what is back there. So it somehow detracts from the focus of the photo, which is looking through the door and looking through the window. But I keep going to that area on the left saying, what is that? Is it part of a wooden wall? So either I would try two things. One, I would try darkening it so that it's less intrusive in the view, or maybe lighten it up so that you show the viewer what's there. I would try both and see which one might be better. Those are my only comments on the photo, but I do like the photo other than those two comments, those two areas.
This photograph has great potential. Right, Craig, let's go to the next one.
No diving.
No diving.
Okay, next. Sorry.
I understand the message here is no diving, but why? What are we not diving into? A cesspool or an aquarium? I'm not sure what, other than the clear message of no diving, I don't understand the purpose of the photo, what else it's trying to convey. It's kind of a, whew, I don't want to hurt the maker's feeling, but I'm having trouble really understanding this photo completely. So I can't make any other comments on it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. What I find disturbing is that the pink area, I don't know what that is, and the fact that it goes from the water across that, whatever it looks like metal, onto that ledge, I find it even more disturbing. So, yeah, definitely, I think we would need to know what you don't want us to dive into. And trust me, that does not look attractive for me to drive in either. So, again, I think you missed on this one.
This next one's called Hairy Arachne. Or,
Interesting.
I think I pronounced that incorrectly. Let me see what I can.
Try it again.
Aracari.
Okay.
I guess that's the name of the bird, huh?
It is.
It's
It is.
Japanese ritual suicide, either one. Beautiful bird. I find the top of the beak very hot. I don't know how you would fix that, but you kind of lose it into the background. And that would be wonderful if there's somehow or other you could get that darker so that you'd have a contrast against the background. And the other thing is, you get a dark bird, dark, colorful bird, but that background just goes way too light, too bright, especially on the right-hand side. So that would definitely need to be toned down somehow. But the eye is nice and sharp, the great detail in the feathers. I like it. Possibilities.
So this is a beautiful bird. I like the composition. The bird sitting on a snag of some sort, but there's a lot of harsh light, really bright light that's very harsh on all of the branches. And the background, the really bright areas in the background could be darkened down, and that would, and you could darken down the branches also. I think you would really enhance the photo a significant amount by darkening all of the bright areas down. You could probably also darken down that bill somewhat. And I know, shooting wildlife, you have no control at all of the background. You have no control of the environment. But you got a great capture of a beautiful bird, and even the webs coming off the tail are in sharp focus, but somewhat distracting because webs typically don't come off the tail. They're part of the background. So I would actually, the more I think about it, I would take those webs out completely. And there's another vertical web hanging down on the extreme left-hand side of the photo. I would take that down. Because again, when you look at a photo, you say, what am I looking at? And you see some of these things that draw your focus away from the object of the photo. and they're easy to remove. So if I were the maker, I would take a look at the background, darken it down, darken all the branches as much as you can, and see what you might come up with. I think you could have a greatly improved photo by doing a little photo editing. Thank you.
Another photo with very good possibilities. Not there yet, good possibilities.
This is the mountains of Wyoming.
I like this this photo very much. It's a great scene. That sky almost looks like a Florida sky, and every day I kind of count my blessings for being in Florida because we have beautiful skies down here. The cloud formations are just incredible. And I've traveled around the world quite a bit, and Florida skies are, in my opinion, the best. Anyway, this is a great nature scene. I like the coloration of the sky and the mountains and the greenery, the light green in the foreground. The road, takes my eye back toward the center of the picture. I think it's just lovely. I think you have a winner here. And there's not a whole lot that I would suggest you do to enhance this photo.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the detail in the trees. And having been out in that area of the country, I know how difficult these images are to capture with any detail at all. But one suggestion, excuse me, that I would make, and excuse me, I wouldn't make to improve it, because I think Bob is right. It's really a very nice photograph, but I would try to make this into a black and white to see how it would look, because sometimes landscapes make fabulous black and white images. So just food for thought. I'll leave it the way it is. It's a gorgeous photograph.
This is elephant ear from Denver Botanical.
Elephant ear at Denver Botanical?
The Denver Botanical Garden.
Okay. That's it. I'm interesting. I was wondering what, I would love to, my mind, well, you guys know what my photographs turn out to be. They very rarely turn out to be just images that I've taken. There's always something that so I'm looking at this little keyhole in the elephant ear and saying, gee, it'd be wonderful to put a face back there or another flower or something like that. But of course, that would move it into a different category. I love the water droplets. I love the detail, the veins that you could see in this image. It is a bit hot in the certain areas, but that would be an easy way to clone it down. So for me, I would just love to see something in that particular little heart-shaped thing, but certainly not a requirement. Waldorf?
I would do a couple things to enhance this photo. I would crop a little bit off either side so that the subject is not in dead center. And on my screen, it looks like it's in dead center. So I would perhaps crop a little bit off the left, couple of inches, so that you're moving the focus off the center. I would also take out some of those lines in the blue area in the upper right quadrant of the picture. That could be, part of the flora, the flower, but I think I find them a little distracting because I'm trying to figure out what they are. Are they naturally there, or is it dust or dirt or something like that? I don't know. I would also tone down the stem coming from the right, from the center bottom up to the purplish area. Tone that down a little bit. I find that a little bit harsh. And I would also maybe tone down the two pinkish, roundish spots in the upper part of the photo. These are all subtle changes that could enhance this photo. I mean, it's worth playing around with and trying a few things. But I like the pattern. I like the water drops. I like the coloration. I like the sharpness of the photo. So try a few of those things if you will, and see if my comments are apropos in improving the photo. Thank you.
This is called a couple of water lilies.
Another lovely photo, beautiful photo. We were up at Bach Tower yesterday and saw a lot of similar scenes like this. And these are indeed lovely, lovely pictures, lovely flowers. I like the coloration in this photo. I like the darkness of the leaves. I've never seen water lily leaves that color, but I'm not that familiar with all the water lilies that are out there. In fact, I can't recall ever seeing other than green leaves. But these are pretty exquisite, pretty beautiful, nice coloration.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, I was going to say you might. No, I guess I'm through. I don't have anything more to say about this. I like it.
I too like this image. I like the fact that the lily pads are that color. I've never seen them in nature that way. And the only thing that might make a difference in this photograph is the what do they call it? The rule of odds, that we have two blossoms instead of one or three. So other than that, it's a lovely photograph. And
one other comment just came to mind. I find that green color, the more I think about it, I'm disturbed by it because it doesn't fit the color pattern of the photo. Everything is warm, reddish brown, and the green just seems like it's out of place. Now that's nature. I would try darkening it down somewhat to see if it improves things, because what you've created here actually is a triangle between the two red blooms and the green flower. And I just find that the coloration of the three of them just don't seem to be coordinated. So darkening down might improve it, and it might not, but that would be something I would try if it were my photo.
And darkening down would be a relatively easy thing to do as well. So yeah, give it a shot.
Blue heron in flight.
Stadler, I think this is yours, Stadler.
The bird is tack sharp. The eye is in clear focus. I love the detail in the wings. The underside of the wings is just gorgeous. And the overside on the other side as well. And I like the fact that it's offset just a little bit, giving the bird room to fly into this image. The only thing that I would suggest is to darken down that water and perhaps even darken down the green a little bit, but definitely the water. It's very hot and kind of brings your eye down. You don't want the eye to go down. You want to keep the eye by the bird. So that would be my suggestion for this one.
The bird in flight is a great capture, beautiful, sharp focus. The action was stopped incredibly well. I agree with the comment on the water. I would darken it down. I would also either darken it down on the shoreline on the left. I'm not sure what that object is. There's a lot of lines at the water's edge. And I would I would try maybe taking that out, because I keep looking at that saying, what is that? Is it flora? Is it fauna? Not sure, but it has some interesting lines that kind of defocus my looking at the subject. So I would either darken it down or maybe eradicate it completely. And I would also darken the brown area that leads from the right side of the photo into the V area between the wing and the beak itself. I would also take down, I would actually eliminate that round dot just below the beak. It sits there by itself. It's probably a reflection, but I think you could easily take that out, and it would again not compete with the viewer's focus. Like, what is that? What is that round circle there? Again, minor changes, but you know, a very lovely capture.
Excellent capture. Absolutely.
Pelican pose in flight.
Another bird, beautiful shot. This one is not totally in focus. Part of the bird is, so the depth of field at whatever distance, probably a long lens, telephoto lens, and you got to remember your depth of field when you're shooting with a long lens is pretty narrow at a great distance. But what is in focus is sharp. The body, the feathers on the chest of the bird are really nice. The wings, edges of the wings are out of focus, and that's not good when you have a solitary subject and part of it's in focus and part of it's not in focus. And if you tried lightening the underside of the wings somewhat, it might bring out more detail.
It definitely needs some more detail, and especially his right wing. But the one thing that disturbs me in this photograph is there are two spots, which are probably birds in the background, that should be taken out. Right above his left wing, kind of where the elbow would be, and on the upper left-hand corner, easy enough to take out. That plus the little more detail in the wings, and be a different photograph.
Oops. This is just called butterfly.
Ooh, nice. I know who shot that one. That's got to be John Marjani. Johnny, you on? You on? No. Lovely. Great. In focus. The thistle is in focus. I love this image. Beautiful black swallowtail butterfly. I would.
I'm sorry, I thought you were finished.
I was. I would just leave it as is. But go ahead, Mr. Waldorf.
The focus of this photo is incredible. Very good. Very, very good. Everything is sharp. I like the colors. I like the background. Two things I would do to the photo. I guess I'm doing a lot of cropping tonight. I would crop that dark spot off the lower right edge. I would take it out, so just cropping the stem a little bit. Actually, that's the only thing I would do to this photo.
Right. Waiting for a response from John to see if this was his image, unless this is Richard Duckworth's.
You know, Stadler, I don't think we need to talk about who's
No, we
in.
don't, but this is just a beautiful
Not
image.
the purpose of this is to talk about whose image it is. The purpose is to critique the image.
You're absolutely right. I just wanted to toss some kudos over in that direction, but whoever it is, beautiful image.
This next one's called Helton Creek.
Another lovely scene. Beautiful waterfall. I like the composition. I like the framing. I see a white dot on the lower left-hand corner in the wooded area, just a little white dot. I don't know if that's on my screen, but I do see it, and I would take that out for sure. And I like the fact that the stones in the foreground are pretty bright, but my eye goes to those right away, but I leave that and go right to the waterfall and see that lovely waterfall. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit overexposed, but you know, waterfalls they look like that pretty well. So I think it's a great image.
It is a beautiful image. I love the way you use that formation to frame the waterfall. Definitely that the white spot on the lower left has to go. And the only other thing I would suggest is to see if you could raise some detail on the very edge of that frame, whatever it is, rock or timber or something. I mean, it's not a deal breaker because it's a beautiful frame, but other than that, yeah, this is gorgeous.
I'd like to add another comment also. On the left-hand side, where the left-hand framing wood meets the upper wood that goes from left to upper right, I also see two little bright spots there, and maybe they're natural in the rock, but again, my eye goes to that and say, I wonder what that is up there. I would take those out and maybe darken the lower right, that one little hot area on the stones, darken that out a little bit. Again, so that you're focusing on the center and the main subject of your photo. Just little things like that could enhance your picture, I think. There's also a little bright spot at the very top center on the woodwork that kind of jumps out at me. The more I look at this, there are a couple little, bright spots that I find a little bit distracting.
This is called Gibbs Garden.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Great detail in the leaf. You have the veins. I love the way that you kind of tilted to one side. The heart shape just makes it just a unique kind of a leaf. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, I like this one very much also. I love the bend in the stem. That is really neat. Oftentimes in floral pictures, you don't see a bend like that, but it's nice and sharp. It's pretty tack sharp. I like what you did to the background. You really darkened it. I see maybe a little hot spot on the stem near the juncture of the stem and the leaf itself. I might just tone that little hot spot down a little bit. But it's a very nice photo, very simple and tastefully done.
Good show, John. Good show.
I'll even move the sign if I feel like it.
Help us preserve our history. Please do not sit on furniture.
Oh, that's got to be Key West, I'm thinking. Interesting. I like it. I like the idea. Do not sit on the furniture with the cat sitting on the furniture. Can't tell cats what to do. I know you can't. Too bad the cat's face is just blown out there, goes into that blown out section. If there's something you could do to bring up some contrast on that, that would make this a wonderful photograph. Right now, I'm not sure. I guess it could be a documentary. I don't know. Also, that white area behind it, well, that's not bad. It's just that white around the cat's face. Anyway, that's my suggestion.
If this were my photo and I wanted to share it with people, I would do a lot of cropping. I would eliminate the two lower corners, so I would crop those out. I would also crop down the top of the photo. I'm not sure what that black or that dark line is up there. I would crop that out and take some of the really bright area out. To me, that looks like the back of a toilet tank, and I'm not sure it is. I don't think it is. It's probably part of the chair. I would also crop the right side, that very bright triangle, and also the left side, a very bright triangle. Couple of hot spots on the cat could also be toned down a little bit, but I would do a lot of cropping on this photo if I were going to suggest to show it anywhere. Next one.
This one doesn't have any, just panorama.
Well, it's a nice panorama, nice nice mountains, beautiful mountain. Um, the sky is sharp, the trees are sharp. I would lighten the trees a little bit, bring out more detail, especially in the lower left side. There's a lot of light on the right side, and I see a lot of detail, but there's a lot of darkness on the left. But that tells me also that the sun is coming in from the right, so there would be, you know, some darkness there. But I think you could lighten that up and bring out a little more detail. I'm not sure what I would do with the sky. The sky is the sky, and it's pretty complex with a lot of different colors. Not sure what that action in the upper right corner. First, I thought there was a bunch of birds there, flying around, but I think it's just pieces of cloud, and I guess that would be okay. But I might, if it were my photo, I might take those out because I really can't tell what they are. And when I see something in a photo that I can't tell what it is, in my opinion, it should not be there. That's just me. But other than that, I like the light. I like the clouds in the mountain, and I like the foreground. Other than, a little lightning on the left side would be, I think, an advantage of bringing out this photo.
Yeah, I agree with Bob, especially with the trees, just a little lightning, a little bit more detail would make this pop. One thing that disturbs me about this image is the area between the trees, and that's very likely a natural phenomenon because the near mountains might be showing blue, a little brighter. I'm not quite sure how I would handle that, but maybe darken down some of the lighter areas. The blue is not so bad because it kind of follows. And I think you're right about the clouds. I think I would leave them because taking them out would be more difficult. It would just disturb some of the other clouds that wouldn't be. I mean, you don't want to have stuff in your image that a viewer would look at and say, "What that? What is that? What is that?" You don't want that. You want somebody to be focusing on what you want them to be focusing on. And the other big thing I would do would be the upper right-hand side. I would darken it down just a bit. And I might pump up the saturation and see if that did anything, but definitely darken it just a tad. It's just a tad too light.
Yeah, a slight vignette around this photo would also, I think, enhance the photo quite a bit.
Interesting image. Must have been a great trip.
Okay, this next one, I don't have a title for this one.
We'll call it Space Needle. It's a great cityscape. It's kind of busy. Not what I would expect looking at Seattle. But a nice image. I think it's more of a record shot than a competition shot, but nice image.
Yeah, it's a busy photo. It's a snapshot. I mean, I don't think this would be a photo that most people would probably not, put a frame around it and hang it on the wall. It's a busy shot. It's it shows a location that people are familiar with, but it really is of a snapshot variety rather than a photo that you might want to enter into competition.
This is entitled Zoo.
The Lowry Zoo, no doubt. But, I love these critters. It's been too long since I've been back to visit, but this is a particularly nice shot. I love the expression on the creature's face while he's chewing on that piece of vegetation. Makes you wonder what he's thinking about. I like this one a lot. I think it would improve. I mean, I love the detail in the not feathers, the fur. Little bit dark on the right side, just a tad. But I think I would seriously think about darkening or vignetting the edges, just to kind of bring your eye in. You don't want your eye to leave the picture. You want to keep your eye in.
The only comment I would add to this is I would take the dark spot out of the wall on the right-hand side.
Great image. Whoever shot this, call me up. We're going to go to the zoo. I want to go.
Okay, we got another zoo shot.
I love it. This is definitely the Lowry Zoo. I've seen this guy before. Great detail in the feathers.
There are no feathers in that picture, Vinny.
I'm sorry?
There are no feathers in that picture.
Fur. Thank you. Fur. But the one thing that disturbs me are the eyes. They're just kind of glassy, just too light. Maybe they should be darkened down a little bit. But other than that, great detail in the fur.
I might darken the foreground right side, the wood, a little bit that the hand is resting on. It's a little bright, distracting somewhat from the subject itself. And there's a very bright spot in the top center. I would darken that down. Those would be my only comments on that photo. Good shot.
Yeah, and one more before we leave it. The hair right above the left eye. It would do well if you could raise some detail, so just a thought, but other than that, love the photo.
This one's called How Much?
I kind of love this picture. This would be a great documentary photograph. Right, Carmen? Just nod your head if this is a documentary. I just love this young couple looking at it, and he's trying to impress her. This is my impression of it, and looking at some modern art in different areas. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing.
I like the photo. I like the purpose of it. I like the fact that these two people, this couple, is looking at a wall, it looks like, of art. But there is a however. I'm not sure what that brown object is on the left, and I'm not sure that it adds a great deal to the photo itself. I would crop that out just actually crop the whole thing out to where the dark wide stripe next to the building in the background. But I like the building in the background. I like the color of the artwork on the right. It's there. It's not distracting. But I do find that piece on the left very distracting because I can't figure out what that is and what it means. So I would crop that out.
Modern art, Waldorf, it's modern art.
Okay.
Anyway,
This,
good
this
focus.
is called night heron.
Good. Love the pose. I love the pose. A lot of times when you see these little creatures, they're in places that aren't really too interesting. I just love the way he's got his paws on the branch, one upper, one lower, and his body is facing one direction, his head is twisted to the other direction. The background is well controlled, albeit a bit bright. And I think I would just try to darken that background just a tad. You don't want to go too crazy. And just take out that lower right-hand corner, that dark spot going up and down. I would just do that with the spot healing brush and you'd have a wonderful image here. You'd have a winner. Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, I would agree with everything, and I don't have any additional comments. Very nice.
Come on. It's just entitled Rose.
Okay, that is a rose. I can tell by the green structure, part of the underside of the rose. A couple of hot spots on the rose. The leaf on the upper right or the right hand side, I could darken that down a little, and very little, and maybe the one on the left side. And that one streak in the center of the rose, just darken those slightly. And I would also even try blurring the small rose in the background. Because I think, again, that being there distracts me from looking at the subject. And the subject is the larger rose in the center of the photo. So I'd blur that and maybe darken that reddish area in the lower right-hand side of the picture, and maybe put a vignette around the whole picture, just darken the edges. So those would be my comments to try to improve this photo.
I agree, especially with the hot spots on the petals, but thing I would do differently, I think, with that lower right hand little rose would be, instead of darkening it or blurring it as Waldorf suggested, that you might try desaturating it. Sometimes that will just take some of the emphasis off of that, so your attention can go on the rose. Also, I would try to pull the top down a little bit. It's just a tad too much on the top. I just cut it down just a hair, maybe up to that first red rose in the background. And by the way, just a comment that everybody photographs a flower from the front or the back, from the front or the side, but it's very artfully done if you can get a good shot from the underside. So I like that a lot with this part of the rose.
Eagle on a branch.
Very sharp photo. Focused very well. Composition is great. You're looking up into the sky at the bird. And oftentimes when you're shooting a bird with a bright sky in the background, you have to really compensate your exposure, which this photographer was astute enough to do. And I think for the most part, he or she did a great job in that effort.
Yeah, I love the focus. I love the detail in the feathers. Um, the my first thought would be put a cloud or something behind there, but no, I don't. I think this works very well the way it is. I might try vignetting or darkening the edges. But there is one little thing that kind of bothers me, and I kind of just figured out what it was, kind of like a pine cone coming down the middle of his tail. And I don't know if you could do anything about that or not, or should you do anything about that or not. But other than that, that's a great, great shot.
And the branch creates a nice leading line from the lower left to the upper right. You know, just brings you right into the bird. Very nice.
Yeah, very nice indeed.
This is Sunset at Casperson.
Ooh, well done. Little silky feel on the water. So this is a long exposure. Good detail in the rocks and in the sand. I like it a lot. I don't think I would do anything to change it.
This photograph just makes me kind of feel good. You know, you get up in the morning, a cup of coffee in your hand, you look out at the sunrise. Now, this could be sunset, but I think it's sunrise. Beautiful day coming up. I love the leading lines of the rocks from the lower left-hand corner going up into the upper right. I love the islands out there. The one in the upper right in the distance, I love that little island out there, and the one in the middle of the photo, just really, really neat. I love the detail in the black sand. I don't know if the sand is actually black. I mean, I know there are black beaches all over this planet, but I don't know if the light here was such that this, you know, perhaps brighter colored sand does look black, but I'm just going to call it black, and I like it the way it is. I love the coloration in the water from the sky. It's just beautiful.
The longer I look at it, the more that horizon is like dead smack dab in the middle.
Well, that was going to be my next comment, but
I'm sorry, Bob. I thought you were
Yeah.
done. I would
Yeah.
just pull the top down just a little bit.
I would maybe crop out as far as the dark cloud up there, or just
Yeah,
up
about
to
that.
the top of that dark cloud. That's the only thing I would do to it. Very
Yeah,
nice
but
photo.
Not
Yeah.
more than that, but yeah, good capture. Well done.
No title on this.
A swallowtail. Okay. Seems to be a little glow around the swallowtail on the left-hand side of the critter. And I think that pink blurry flower behind the butterfly kind of just takes away a little bit. So as with my comment before, I would try to maybe desaturate. It's already blurry, which is not bad, but darken it and or desaturate or both to make because you want the focus to be on the butterfly and that particular first flower. So that's what I would do on this one. Other than that, the background is well controlled and
I can appreciate the excitement of capturing something like this, a beautiful butterfly on a beautiful flower. And oftentimes you are so focused on getting the shot. But if the photographer took the shot and looked at the flower in the background, perhaps if the photographer had moved a little bit to the right, you could have totally eliminated that flower behind the butterfly. And I think you'd have a background that would be much more suitable to the subject, because that background flower actually distracts me from the butterfly. I would also, with the photo as is, I would crop out that bottom, that flower at the very bottom of the picture, because it adds no value to looking at the subject itself. And I would even darken that one leaf on the lower portion of that stem in the background. In fact, I think you could easily take that background flower out of the picture, even as it is. It could be eliminated quite nicely. And I think you'd have a much better focus on the subject itself, being the butterfly on the one flower. And you would eliminate the two flowers that don't add a whole lot to the character of the photo.
In all fairness to the shooter of this, butterflies are more difficult to shoot, I think, than birds, because they sometimes don't light for more than a fraction of a second. But you're absolutely right. It'd be an easy job to remove that flower totally. And whoever shot this, if you're interested in doing that, you could see a couple of videos made by the two cranky old guys, and you could always call me and I could talk you through it. So, but beautiful capture nonetheless.
No title on this one also.
You know, it's a beautiful, I guess that's a what do you call it? Swallowtail.
Tiger.
Tiger?
Tiger swallowtail, maybe.
Well, tiger swallowtail, okay. Oh, yes, okay. It's tough to see when those wings are halfway up, and I like them either fully up and get the profile or total spread. Hard to see on this one. Nice image. Beautiful contrast between the butterfly and the flower. The background, even though it's busy, is not overwhelming. But it's just hard to win a competition with a butterfly whose wings are not fully in one direction or the other. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought you were finished.
I am. I just turned it over to you.
Yeah, I think in judging this, the biggest deficiency in this photograph is the lack of definition in the flower on the left-hand side of the butterfly. It's just, there's no definition at all in the red. And if there was, complete definition, I'd say the only thing you'd want to do to this photo is maybe put a vignette around the periphery of the photo to enhance the subject. And maybe do a little darkening in some of the bright spots, like in the lower right-hand corner, ever so slightly, upper left-hand corner. Some of the leaves could be darkened a little bit, and it wouldn't detract from the photo in any major way at all. And a vignette might even enhance the photo by bringing the subject out. But the biggest complaint I have is the lack of definition in the flower on the left side. Other than that, it would have been a great photo.
Yeah, okay, I don't see any title on this one either.
I don't want to talk about that one.
You don't want to talk about it?
This was an experiment that I did, and I really looked at it, and I hate the background. So I have a lot more work to do on it. So I'm going to shut up, and Bob, if you have a comment, please feel free.
I like what you were trying to do, is you were trying to show a great expanse of geography, and by adding a couple of humans in the foreground just gives it a perspective that, hey, there's beauty out there, and there are people out there to enjoy that beauty, and this couple seems to be really enjoying it well as each other. The bench, however, doesn't appear to be in focus on the right-hand side. And I'm not sure why, because everything else looks like it's in focus pretty well. It might have been a little bit of movement. And maybe cropping it a little bit on one side or the other so you get them out of the middle of the photo.
Yeah.
Might enhance it a little. But I
got-
like
got
the
some
fact,
plans to do.
I like the fact that you've captured a couple of clouds in the sky up there, and a very, very beautiful blue sky. And I'm not sure, I was there while you took that picture, and I'm not sure why you asked her to put her hand on her head like that.
No, I didn't. I asked her to take it down. I just kind of grabbed her while I asked her to look at him, and she decided to put a hand up there. That's when I snapped the picture.
Yeah, even though she has a lovely hand, I think it's out of place.
Well, this is one of those experiments. They don't all work out the way you expect.
Well, here's the major issue I have with this photo. Which one of them has 3 legs?
Where's her other leg? Yeah, where the heck is that leg? Oh,
Well,
right. Like I
it's
said,
been fun. Is that the last photo, Craig?
Certainly
No,
gonna-
here's one last one.
Okay. I like this photo. Another very nice landscape scene. I like the fact that there's a person in there pondering what might be in the water, fish or some sort of wildlife. I like the reflection of the person and the tree. I like the lily pad in the middle. I would certainly try to darken the water, the lower right-hand portion of the picture, and maybe tone down a little bit the bright area on the ground to the woman's left. Tone that down a little because it's awfully bright, it's awfully hot. And maybe darken the upper right-hand corner a little bit as well. Other than that, it's a nice shot.
Thank you. This one was also mine. I thought this one had more possibility than the bench. Seeing the way you can't see her face, but she's kind of staring into that, the pool of eternity, so to speak. But thank you for your comments. I'm going to see if I could do something with this one.
If you're interested, I have a couple of comments on a couple of images. You got
No,
time? Got
we're
time?
not interested.
You're not interested? Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Goodbye. If you could bring up the red leaf, this was a fantastic image. I would just flip this over so that the stem comes from the bottom left corner. We talk about reading from left to right. That would make a perfect fit from the bottom left corner into the leaf. Excellent photograph.
This way. And you would be
Worth a
reading,
try.
which is
Can you flip the image, Greg? You get the idea now. But just stand a little more to the left, but you see the diagonal how it goes up. Great image.
Hmm.
The two water lilies. If we can crop this in closer, the area at the top, the dark area, the water, we really don't need that. If you crop in closer and down lower, make it like a maybe a 10x6 or 10x7, it will give us a better composition on it. Great pictures of the water lilies.
How do you feel about having the 2 water lilies versus 1 or 3?
It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I think if it was cropped in close, I want to see more of them, and I'm going my eyes floating up to the top too much and to the leaves above it.
So you would crop it panorama.
Crop it, yeah, panorama wise.
That'd be worth a try.
Yeah. It's a single bird you had. There was one that we saw. The first bird had branches with it going to the left and going to the right. Look at this. It's a great picture of the bird, but the branches bother me. Let's go back to the list again and go to the very right. And come back. One more. Next bird. Yeah, click that one. Look how clean this is compared to the way the other one was, with all the branches taking you out of the photograph. This is exquisitely done.
Totally agree.
Okay. And then the eagle, which was over to the right a little bit. The next one, I think. Great picture of the eagle. I just wish there was a little more directional light on it. Look at the leading line, how beautiful it is with the stem, the birds in the right spot. Everything's going great for this one. Say again? Okay, I think it's a great picture. Okay, we're looking good. Some good stuff.
Thank you, Carmen. Okay, anybody else want to make a comment or question? Nope. Okay. That's about it. It's Frank. Well, anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you all who participated. And just so you know, those images that I
was asking earlier, do you think we need some lighting?
okay.
belong to John Marjani.
We're done now.
Okay.
There he is. I see him. Great job, John. Really great. Thank you all. You're going to be hearing from Frank Canarazzo soon about the Dry Creek. Frank, are you in town? Can we talk?
Yeah, I sent, there's no more information. I sent all the information.
All right, I just need to talk to you by phone because I'm at that stage in my life where I need to have a human talk.
Yeah, I could call you tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow's fine. That's about it. And I thank you all for being here. Thank you all who participated by sending images. And for those of you who did not, perhaps the next time you will. And I'm good. Thank you all.
Very good.
Thank you, Vinny and Bob. It was very, very interesting.
Thank you. Drive safely, go straight home.